from his family.
Was out on the field pretty much the whole entire first half.
Got a lot of great games. I'm highlighting 2 SEC games.
What's up, everybody? Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live for the Touchdown Show with our good friend Mayhem. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, thanks for doing a show with me, and as always, and looking forward to what we're going to talk about tonight. Shannon Sharpe is mad, Jordan Hudson is glad, and LeBron is sad as the Lakers lost in Game 5. Where do you want to start tonight?
I guess let's start with we can do the Lakers. They lost 4-1, and it was basically a gentleman's sweep. They didn't get swept 4-0, but it's more like a gentleman's sweep. They let the Lakers win one. In my opinion, could have 4-0 them, but we could talk about that. We could talk about the overview of the game. We could talk about, just what happened in that game and what went wrong for the Lakers. And then we can address LeBron James. He is getting older. He's been doing this for 22, 23 seasons, whatever it is. His, the years of LeBron are numbered. And what I mean by that is you'd have to believe we've seen Tom Brady retire. We've seen, Drew Brees retire. We've seen the GOATs in football kind of retire. I know you don't care about wrestling, but this kind of goes in with it. We're seeing right now John Cena on his last retirement tour. So kind of like all the greats of our generation, Ballard, they're retiring. And, we do have to raise the question now, is this it? Or can we see one more season, 2 more seasons? And we could talk about that after we talk about that. And after that, then we can move on to the Bill Belichick saga.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the Timberwolves, they win the series. Minnesota wins 4-1. They win in game 5, 103-96. And they pretty much got outscored in all but the third quarter, the Lakers. And they came in 5.5-point favorites. They played at home at Crypto Arena. And I guess, is there something wrong with the Lakers? This is LeBron's team. We know that for sure. They got Luka and everybody. Are the Timberwolves? You probably watch a little bit more NBA than I do. I know you're a big OKC fan and everything, but when you look at this series, when you look at these teams this year, was this a factor of Minnesota being on a mission to make it as far as they possibly can? Or even though they brought in Luka this year and they got LeBron, and even though he's still really, really good, are the Lakers falling apart, do you think?
I mean, no. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, Lakers aren't falling off. Um, Minnesota, this whole series, Minnesota won the first game in convincing fashion. 117-95. For the Timberwolves, you had Julius Randle went off. You had McDaniels go off. They had, They 16 points, 25 points. Anthony Edwards 22 points. Reed 23 points. Like you had some guys from the Timberwolves go off in that game. The Lakers, LeBron James only had 19 points, but Luka had an amazing 37 points. And then outside of that, all right, so Reeves got 16 points, but outside of that, you had 3 points, 3 points, 2 points, 9 points. Not a whole lot of things. It was really carried. The Lakers were really carried by LeBron James and Luka, which obviously is understandable. But you had the Timberwolves in that first game. You had guys like Julius Randle, McDaniels. You had Reed and Anthony Edwards really step up whenever it mattered most. And then you go to the second game. The Lakers won the second game. And the biggest difference, Ballard, is you had more players step up. You had Luka score 31. LeBron, instead of scoring 19, he scored 21. You had the step up of Roy Hachimura. He was able to step up for them, and then obviously Reeves did his thing as normal. You had you know you had better defense in that game than what they did in the first game. The Lakers really had better defense and only held Timberwolves to 85 points. So that was the reason why they won the second game. Look at the Timberwolves. Julius Randle had 27 points, and then Anthony Edwards only had 25. And then outside of that, nobody really, stepped up like they did in the first game. The third game that they played, the Timberwolves won 104 to 116. Um, you know, LeBron James again had 38 points. Luka did not do as well, only scoring 17 points. So, and then Reeves did his thing per normal, 20 points. But outside of them three players, really didn't do too much. And also the Timberwolves. Here's another pattern. The same guys. McDaniels got 30 points. Julius Randle 22 points. Edwards 29 points. Right, and then some other guys helped out like Reed and DaVincio. Both of them kind of stepped up and had double digit points there. So you had more like the only three that really had double digit points were the three I just named for the Lakers: LeBron James, Reeves, and Doncic. And it just seems like the Lakers defense was out of whack there. Go to the next game. It was a very close game, 116 to 113. Timberwolves pulled it out. LeBron James had 27 points. Hachimura actually did really good in that game, 23 points. Doncic actually did really good too, 38 points. Reeves, 17 points. I feel like that was probably, I know the Lakers won in a game before, but I feel like that was their best game that they lost because they had a lot of Lakers really come out and perform really well. You had you had the Timberwolves just do a little bit better with Edwards. Anthony Edwards was the MVP really to carry the Timberwolves to get this 4-1 victory over the Lakers and LeBron James, right? Anthony Edwards had 43 points. So just imagine, like, the Lakers did such a good job offensively just to really lose the game to Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. 43 points put up in that game. Julius Randle obviously going to get his points, 25 points. McDaniels got 16. Reed got 12. So although they did really good offensively, the Lakers defense just did not show up, and they got outplayed. They almost won, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And then you have yesterday, the Timberwolves won 103-96, another pretty close game. You know, really, the Lakers still couldn't really do anything defensively. Lakers only put up 96 points, which is, unfortunate. I mean, they really haven't put up that many points on the Timberwolves. Timberwolves been playing really good defense. LeBron James, 22 points. Hachimura stood up again, had 23 points. Reeves, 12 points. And Doncic, he didn't get 30 points. He got 28 points. The Timberwolves, Julius Randle, 23 points. Goddard actually stepped up in this game with 27 points. Anthony Edwards, he didn't have as many points as he did before, but he had him 15 points. And then Alexander Walker actually stepped up. He had double-digit points at 10. So my overall review of this this series is the Lakers couldn't didn't have good defense, and whenever they did have good defense, they won that one game, 94-85. But whenever they didn't have pretty good defense, not even decent defense, they lost. I mean, Timberwolves had 103, 116, 116, 117. So the Timberwolves were staying up towards that 116, 117 mark, and the Lakers never did get any where near 117 points. The closest that they got was 113. So it seems like the Timberwolves, if the Timberwolves would have gotten 113 or 114 or higher, they knew for a fact that they were going to win the game because they had good defense. I felt like the Timberwolves won this game off of their defense, and Anthony Edwards and company really stepped up on offense to secure their victory.
Yeah, and when you look at the Lakers too, man, like you go back through some of their games. I mean, obviously they've played the Timberwolves and they've played like the Memphis Grizzlies and stuff like that. They've lost some, they've won some, they've had, kind of back and forth with some teams. They You have to do this in the NBA. You have to do it in a basketball period. Like we could talk about good defenses in NBA history. We could talk about good defenses in um, college basketball today. I think of teams like Houston and Purdue. But like you have to score. And that's something that the Lakers really all season, I mean, they've been pretty good at it. They've had some games where they had to put up 130, 120 points, something like that. And I really, I've looked at their schedule here and I cannot find a game really that they lost outside of playing Minnesota in December where they lost it and didn't give up 100 plus. That Minnesota game, it was 97-87. Other than that, man, you give up 100 points and you can't match it. I mean, there's a lot of games that the Lakers have had where they've scored 100 plus points with Anthony Davis or LeBron James, of course, Luca, a couple different guys. Uh, there's been some good games for them. They had a really good run. I'll give them that to their credit. But reality is, man, you don't score 100 plus points and expect to win a playoff game. And they could not hit 100 plus in this last game. They ended up hitting 96. They came pretty close, and Minnesota was just a little bit better in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this last thing to kind of sum up what I said before. Um, so I'll hit on one more point that really kind of brings this home and sums this up. So the Lakers all season, their offense has averaged about 113 points per game. So look at these games. The first game, Timberwolves 117, Lakers 95. They did not meet their average. Timberwolves 85, Lakers 94. Even though they won, they did not meet their average at 113. Lakers 104, Timberwolves 116. Again, Lakers did not meet their average like they've been playing all year. The only game, Ballard, was, and I believe that this was their best game out of this whole entire series, even though they still lost, was this game right here. Offensively, Lakers 113, which met their average that they've been doing pretty much all year. And then the Timberwolves 116. Like I said, Lakers had no defense. And then the Timberwolves, the last game last night, 103, Lakers 96, which also, as you can tell, did not meet the 113 average that they've been doing all season. So to me, honestly, you got to give credit to the Timberwolves defense. I feel
Right.
like defensively, that is where these games were won. Whenever the Lakers played good defense, like we seen in game 2, they were able to win. They held Timberwolves to 85 points. Lakers didn't need their average of 113 to win that game because they had really good defense. So, this we cover college football, correct?
Mhm.
Um, I know this is going to sound stupid, Ballard, but just bear with me, and maybe it might sound more smarter than actually what I'm thinking, but this reminds me of a Lincoln Riley Southern Cal football team, right? They
I
can
could
put
see
up
that, but go on.
they can put up 40 points a game. They have
Or
awesome
his
offense
Oklahoma teams, by the way, his Oklahoma teams too.
or that. But then their defense will give up 49 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we all know that Lincoln Riley has great offense, but he has terrible defense. And now, I'm comparing this to football because that's what me and Ballard cover is college football mainly. So I just, for those that are viewing the live stream and y'all don't care about basketball, this is what I feel like the Lakers are in college football terms. I feel like the Lakers this year, especially in this series that the Timberwolves won, they were the Lincoln Riley. They and then maybe the Timberwolves were like, uh, I'm gonna just throw. I'm not going to use Georgia because people would say I'm biased. I'll use a different team, like a Michigan, right? That plays really good defense, or even though I think Timberwolves. This is perfect. Timberwolves was like Ohio State, really good defense, really good offense. Lakers were like Southern Cal, can put up really good points, but just absolutely no defense. And the one defense that they put that they did do, they won one of the games, right?
Right.
So this to me would be like the college football equivalent of if you put a 4-game series together, Lincoln Riley team versus Ohio State of this past season. That's pretty much how I can sum this up.
I got you there, man. I
But
understand.
I do want to ask Ballard, getting away from the series a little bit and talking about just LeBron James by himself, okay?
Right.
He's getting up in age, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Ballard. LeBron James, he was asked in an interview, like, how much longer can we see the King, LeBron James, play basketball? And well, his answer was he didn't know. He said I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to my family, and I talk to my players and coaches, and see where my mental health is at, and where how the physical I am, and where my body's at and stuff like that. He pretty much beat around the bush and said that he don't know, right? So
Yeah.
that raises a question, Ballard, like how much longer is LeBron going to play?
I really don't know. I would say it's obviously no more than like 5 years, no more than that. But I think you're looking at a minimum. I gotta give him at least 2 or 3, right? Like somewhere between 2 and 5 years, maybe. He is getting up in age. Don't forget he played also with who was it? Well, he was with the Heat, right? I know he was with the Cavs,
Cavs,
and
Heat,
he
Lakers, yeah.
like the early 2000s, man. Like he's been around a while, and he's still like. I want to make this very clear. I do not think LeBron is a bad player. I don't. Um, I don't want to get into the political side or anything, but when you look at some of the greatest guys out there on the court today, and you don't look at LeBron, you're crazy. You got to put him in that category. Now we could argue all day about the Kobe's and the Shaqs and the Michael Jordans and Magic Johnsons and Larry Birds all day long about how they would probably take him to the woodshed, but he's good in this game today. He was good a decade ago. He was good when he started out. He was good when he was where was he? Ohio State. So he was good in college even. He's a great player and he has left a really good legacy on the court. You could take the politics and everything out of it, the drama. He's left a good legacy to be a really good basketball player. He
Well,
has.
so I did want to like correct you on something.
What?
LeBron James never went to college. He's from Akron, Ohio. He got drafted in the first round, first overall pick, 2003. This is before the NBA made the rule that you had to play 3 years of college.
Okay.
But yeah, he went to St. Vincent St. Mary's High School and in Akron, Ohio. But I will say this, Ballard, that I do believe that LeBron James is no less than a top 10 player of all time. You can say maybe Jordan's better, Kobe's better. I mean, I would rather say top five. He's like top five in my opinion because the longevity of his playing career. He's been doing it for like 22, 23 years or whatever, whatever the years are. But I mean, I do think, and we can have this debate another day, or whenever, or you can have it in the comments. I do think Jordan is better than LeBron James. And I, I'll just ask, for everybody, for anybody that's saying that he's not, I don't remember Jordan ever changing his number to honor another player. LeBron James literally, turned, got a new jersey and number 23 and to, you know, basically, honor Michael Jordan, right?
Right.
I don't remember. Um, I don't remember anybody else doing. I don't remember. You know, uh, I can't speak right now, but I don't remember Michael Jordan ever doing that, right? But yeah, man, I think LeBron James I do believe LeBron James is one of the GOATs, top 5. If you wanted to argue and say top 10, I would listen and hear you out. But now, if you started saying he's like top 20, then I'm not even going to pay you any attention. But the longevity of his career and how long he's been able to do it. He's played this game longer than Jordan. He's played this game longer than Kobe. He's played this game longer than a lot of the greats. What he's been able to do and put his body through. I know this game is a little bit easier, and they call fouls on literally everything nowadays. But I mean, he's also played in the game where it was a little bit tough. He's played in both kind of generations there, and both times. So he's done it all. He was great. He was elite back then. He's elite now. And I mean, I think like you think. I think he has. Honestly, I think a maximum of 3 years. If he does win another ring, I think he'll go out on top. I think like if next year he happened to win the whole entire thing, I
Mhm.
do believe that he'll probably call it a career so that he can solidify himself as quote unquote the GOAT. I don't know if LeBron James his what do you call it whenever you go out on a loss? I don't think his I can't think of the word right now, but I don't think he would allow himself to go out on a loss. I don't think he wants to be remembered as a player that got bounced in the first round. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which, by the way, Jordan never lost in the final in the first round of any playoffs. But whatever. But I think this is LeBron's second time ever getting bounced in the first round. But like he is getting older. He has played this for 20 something years, like I already said, and I don't see him playing for much more than 3 to 5 years. I give him. He might not even play next year. Who knows? But I just don't see LeBron going out like that. I wish I could find the word to use, but um, his what do you call it whenever you're like really arrogant? Your
Ego.
ego. There you go. I feel like
Yeah.
he won't. I don't think his ego is going to allow him to go out like this. Now he might go to the finals and lose in the finals and then call it a career, but at least he could say he got there one more time. But like, I don't think that him getting bounced in the first round is going to be something where he says, you know what, I feel good about hanging it up this year. I just, for some reason, that just doesn't come across to me like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you. Um, he goes out a winner no matter what. Um, and I don't know, man. Like I mean, he is the modern like go-to player for the NBA today. In terms of we look at greatness when we see LeBron James. Now, you have all these younger guys like Luca and um, you have I'm trying to think who else Jokic and I mean, but
Giannis,
it, what
Giannis,
Giannis, yeah. Um, anyway, you have all these young players that are going to be these stars. We would assume that they already are, but then you have LeBron, who has kind of been there, done that in a way. Like he's solidified himself to be one of the best, if not the best. He
right?
has
I
nothing
agree.
left to prove as a basketball player.
I agree.
You know?
I 100% agree with you. I
Yeah.
just believe that he's he has a really big ego, and I just don't see a world where LeBron James says, "You know what, guys, you're right. I am I am not the same player I was 5 years ago. I'm gonna step down. I can't really elevate my team anymore. I'm gonna just retire. I don't see him doing that. I think,
I don't
all
either, and that's what scares me because I don't wanna see him, like, ruin anything. Now, he's not gonna take away what he's already done, but you can get to a point where you get too much in your head, and your head gets all big, and you say, "No, I could do it. I could still roll. I could still ball. I could do all that." And he goes out there and tries to prove himself and then ends up embarrassing himself. He ends up flopping on the court, you know? I don't wanna see that happen. I don't wish that
yeah.
upon anybody with LeBron.
Now, I could see him going. Now, I am of the belief, and then this might sound crazy whenever I say this, but like, I don't follow the NBA as close as a lot of guys uh do, but I do follow it on my phone, and I follow news, and I do listen to ESPN, and obviously I hear things about the NBA, and I watch highlights and stuff like that, and I do watch games every now and then. But I'm not some huge NBA basketball watcher. I am a casual fan of the NBA, but in recent years, I felt like this Lakers team, and I'm gonna give credit to this Lakers team. They really did more than I thought that this Lakers team could do. They went out and made the biggest trade of all time, getting Luca, and they got a little bit better with Luca being there. Um, you know, and I feel like I feel like this Lakers team really overachieved. If they had any goals of doing anything, I really do feel like this Lakers team specifically really overachieved, and they overachieved so much that it had Shannon Sharpe, which this is the perfect way to get in on our next topic. um you know the Lakers overachieved so much that it had Shannon Sharpe saying, you know uh trash can, Superman, Batman, Lakers survive. I mean, all this stuff, UFC, KFC, Lakers in five, right? I mean, it had him saying that because of how much they overachieved. And I felt like maybe I was watching the Lakers kind of struggle a little bit, but they were still winning games. They were struggling, but they were still winning. And then they went out and got this blockbuster of a trade, and then they started doing even better. And then they, got into the playoffs, and unfortunately they lost. But I feel like they can hang their head high and say, at the end of the day, we really overachieved. We shouldn't have been in the position that we were even in the first place. I really do believe that. I believe LeBron, even though I don't think he's going to go out this way, because of his ego that I believe he has, which, rightfully so, because, he is one of the GOATs. Whenever you play this long and you have the career that LeBron James has, you deserve to have, you know, some ego about yourself, right? You have every right to brag about the sport that you play and that you're good at, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not trashing LeBron James when I say that, right? I mean, he has every single right to talk his trash because he's played it for so long, and he's, recognized in a lot of people's mind as the GOAT, right? So, whenever I say he has a big ego, I'm not saying that to, you know, be mean or anything like that. It's just, he's great, and he deserves to, you know, have an ego, right? And I don't think his ego will let him go out like this, even though I think at the same time, it could be true that this Lakers team has overachieved this season, and which leads us into this next topic of Shannon Sharpe. He was a big believer in Lakers in five, Lakers in five. KFC, UFC, whatever, Lakers in five. You know, he he had a lot of different sayings this year. The title of our show is kind of making fun of Shannon Sharpe and the Lakers in five thing. And that's pretty funny. But also, Ballard, want to talk about? Shannon Sharpe. He's been in some hot water with this 19-year-old, and allegedly things happen, and Shannon Sharpe is in some boiling water right now. He posted on X that he will be taking some time off. He said that he'll be taking some time off of first take. Um, Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the actual quote. I'm gonna pull up the actual quote. He said, and I quote, "I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason." That was the quote that he put on social media. And a lot of people are of the belief that he pretty much stepped aside before ESPN could fire him. That's what a lot of people are of the belief, that ESPN was probably going to let him go, probably fire him, but he made the decision to step away before ESPN could really fire him. I don't, like I said, the last live that we talked about this, and I still stand 100% with what I said last time. My opinion is that I would like to believe that Shannon Sharpe is not guilty, right? That's what I would like to believe, in my opinion. Based off of the little bit of things that I've seen online and the little bit of things that the audios and stuff like that I have my own personal belief. I would like to think that Shannon Sharpe is not guilty, right? On the other hand, I was not there, Ballard. I was not there, so I do not have um, any evidence to support either one of them, right? So, I still stand that I cannot say one is right, one is wrong whenever I was not there to witness it, if that makes any sense. So with that being said, like, I'm not saying Shannon Sharpe is right or the girl is right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, in my personal belief, is I hope that Shannon Sharpe is not found guilty, because I do like Shannon Sharpe. I watch a lot of his content, and he's doing really good stuff with Nightcap. And I'd love to see Shannon Sharpe flourish on ESPN and First Take. He really did good for First Take. He took First Take to new levels that it has not been in years. And, I love Stephen A. Smith, and that has affected Stephen A. Smith also, because he is in charge of First Take, and he just lost, a co-partner, the co-host to that show and stuff like that. I would love to see them flourish because I enjoy their content. So I would like for this to go in favor of Shannon Sharpe, and then things just keep on going. But Ballard, I will say this: if Shannon Sharpe is guilty, then you need to lay it down on
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe. Whatever Shannon Sharpe deserves, that's what he deserves, right? If he is guilty, then if she wants $50 million, then guess what? You need to give her the 50 million if you're guilty, right?
Right.
Because you know some of the allegations that are being put on Mr. Sharpe, if they are true, I do not agree with. I do not agree with, and if Shannon Sharpe did these allegations towards this woman, and if they are true, then whatever she wants, she should get. Right. So you know, outside of that, I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. I just gave you my opinion, but outside of that, I really don't have any other opinions about it. But I will say that Shannon Sharpe, bro, you're 60 years old talking to a 19-year-old. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I know she's of age. I get it. I understand that. But like, bro, you're like 60 years old, bro. Like, that's crazy. You could be her grandfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why that's like craziness. And I'm gonna say this, Ballard. I am 26 years old, and outside of family and friends, like close friends and family, like really, like outside of that, I, bro, I can't even name a 19-year-old, and I'm 26. I can't
Yeah.
even tell you one guy or girl that's 19 years old. I don't know any of them.
Right. Outside of maybe some famous athletes that are up and coming in college, but just some random like kid on the street, like I can't even. I'm 23. I can't. You know.
I mean, I just don't associate myself with 19-year-old. I mean, I know they're of age. I get it, but like, come on, bro. Shannon Sharpe is almost 60.
Yeah.
Why is he associating himself with 19-year-old? And yes, I know it's legal. 19 is legal age. I get it. I understand it, right?
Yeah.
But whenever I'm 56, the last thing on my mind, and actually it's not even going to be on my mind, is a 19-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be thinking of 70 and 80-year-olds whenever I'm 60. I'm going to be thinking about the 90-year-old. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about no 19. I'll be thinking 91, not 19.
Right.
Anyways, that's but still, it's just I do think that Shannon Sharpe was crazy for that. I will say that. But I'm just hoping that these allegations aren't true because, I would love to believe that the person I've been watching for years on ESPN, and even whenever he was with on Fox, or and even back to his CBS days. Like, I would like to believe that the person I've been watching for many years wouldn't do the stuff that he's being accused of, right? So, because I would hate to have to stop watching him because of something that he did that I did not agree with, right?
Right.
So that's pretty much my take on that. But yeah, man. But I said all that stuff to say this: Shannon Sharpe was on Nightcap last night, and he had a little outburst. And Ballard's going to play the clip, and we're going to live react to it.
Let's see. Here we go.
Ocho say, what's your phone number? Where you gonna be?
Who that?
Shut the fuck up. Guess what the two teams that call me Ocho say, what's your phone number? Where you gonna be?
Who that?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Guess what the two teams.
So, what's your first reaction, Ballard?
I mean, I think outburst is a little much of words to describe that, but obviously he was angry at somebody for
I mean,
whatever they might have said in the background.
obviously, my first reaction is obviously somebody, a producer, an editor, somebody that works for his team. Obviously, it was very clear and obvious to me that whenever he was talking about getting somebody's phone number and stuff like that, they made a joke in reference to the allegations. And obviously, he didn't like it, right? That is my opinion on it. Obviously, I don't know exactly what was said, but in his earpiece, or if they said it out loud and we just couldn't hear him, not sure, but we didn't hear him. We don't know what was said. He could have been talking about, you know, he could have been talking. Maybe, I mean, look, we could have taken this out of context. This could be, sometimes Shannon Sharpe does have his dogs sometime come on and he pets his dogs on the stream and stuff like that. This could be just as simple as maybe the dog was barking or something like that. And maybe Shannon Sharpe thought that the dog was going to come on the stream and, and hear barking sounds, right? So maybe he just told his dog, "Hey, shut up," right? And maybe that's all it was, right? But based off of what he said prior to saying "shut up," was getting people's phone numbers and so on and so forth about. I think he was talking about the NFL. Whenever I think he was talking about the prank call with Shador Sanders, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And giving out phone numbers, and he said the only teams I give my phone number out to, and it wouldn't surprise me if somebody made a joke about the allegations, and then he just said "shut up" like that. I mean, and got mad, but I wouldn't be surprised if Shannon Sharpe came on the next time Nightcap comes on and said, "Hey, my dog was barking in the background. I didn't want the dog to be in the live stream, so I just told him to shut up," right? It could be something as simple as that, right? And
Yeah.
people just took it out of context, like me. Like I'm guilty. I took it out of context, right? But yeah, I mean, also one more thing, Ballard. Could this be just staged? Could this, hey, I'm gonna say shut up and make it look like that I'm talking about the allegations? I'm gonna get some clicks. I'm gonna get some views. I mean, hey, he's got to. I mean, if he's guilty, he's gonna have to pay that $50 million. So maybe, he's gonna get some clicks and views and to pay off that $50 million, right?
Yeah, it could be staged. Not likely though. But it could be.
What's the
Um,
out of the three options I just gave? What's most likely?
it could have been his dog or his producer, because the producers probably think this is all some fun stuff, right? I would assume. I
For
would if
sure.
I'm a producer, like, man, I gotta produce for this guy.
Yeah, for sure. And
Right.
you know, um, and like I said, if um, if Shannon Sharpe is found guilty and he has to pay the $50 million, um, he's got to find a way to pay the $50 million. So he has to get a bunch of clicks and views, right, to pay for it, right? And um, and I understand, Ballard, that that's like the least likely scenario. I don't think that he was just doing that for clicks and views. I don't really think it was staged. But the reason why I put it out there is because there are some people in comment sections and stuff like that are actually saying that this might have been staged just to get some clicks and views. I don't believe it, but since it was thrown out there as a possibility, of course we got to talk about it on the show.
Yep.
But anyways, I want to get to our last. Enough talking about that. That's that gives people a headache. But anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, Shannon Sharpe, like I said, good luck to you. Hopefully, you are telling the truth. But outside that, if you are guilty, Shannon Sharpe, then whatever that girl wants from you, you better give to her. Because I don't agree with anything that she is saying that you did. So hopefully, Shannon Sharpe is not guilty. Anyways, I just want to throw that out there one more time because Ballard, sometimes I can talk and talk and talk and talk and then I feel like maybe I said something wrong or something like that. I do got to make sure I say it multiple times, how I actually feel, but I don't want anybody to take my words out of context is what I'm trying to say. But let's talk about the last thing. Let's talk about old Billy Belichick. Want to
Yeah.
lead us into that story?
Yeah, so obviously we know about Jordan Hudson, his supposedly girlfriend. But if you guys saw this week, he was on CBS Sunday Morning this past Sunday, obviously. And I guess his daughter-in-law weighed in on the drama that has been circulating this week with him and Jordan Hudson. Um, and there was something about what was it? How they met? It was how they met was the question that was asked, and then um, it had a response or something. Or Bill was fixing to answer, and I think didn't Jordan Hudson basically try to say, "Oh, don't answer that question, or we're done," or something. And
So I'll go ahead and tell what kind of happened with this. Um, so Bill Belichick, he had an interview with CBS. It was a weird interview because Jordan Hudson, you know, she kind of got she kind of what is it called? She kind of like interrupted the interview a couple times, and CBS actually had to edit out some of the parts where she interrupted. But basically, Jordan was, in my opinion, trying to control the conversation. And, well, Bill Belichick said that, and I quote, simply not true, right? And he says that it was a false narrative going around. But I think Bill Belichick was basically playing damage control, trying to protect his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, right? Um, you know, he was promoting his new book called The Art of Winning: Lessons from a Life in Football. And they like you said, they asked questions about how they met, but Bill Belichick said, and I quote, I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist and Simon and Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Now, Ballard, guess what? You there? Oh, I don't know what happened with Ballard, but he left. So basically, um, the quote I just read was from Bill Belichick, and the whole point is like he said that he did not want to talk about anything except for what was in the book. Well, newsflash, Bill Belichick, you put your girlfriend inside of the book. So I mean, they did what you said. I don't understand, right? And then Bill Belichick, um, I think the girlfriend Jordan, she put out and she put out a screenshot of an email, um, or whatever. I'm not sure what that was about, but it wasn't a good look for it wasn't a really a good look for Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. It looked like Bill Belichick's girlfriend was trying to be in control. It just looked like that she was trying to be in charge, and and a lot of people are concerned, especially North Carolina fans, about you know moving forward with the North Carolina Tar Heels. How is that going to work? And how much is Jordan going to be? How much is Jordan going to, you know, be involved? Right. So, yeah, man, I, um, my bad. Ballard just texted me. He said his internet was out. Prayers up for Ballard's internet. But, there you go. There's Ballard.
Hey, I think I'm back.
Okay. We was just saying prayers for your internet. But, long story
You there,
short,
Mayhem?
yeah, I'm here. Long story short, Bill Belichick and his girlfriend are well. Bill Belichick's girlfriend
Mayhem.
is. I can hear you, bro. Having some technical difficulties here, but basically, um, Bill Belichick's girlfriend is really crazy, trying to control Bill Belichick, and
I don't know what's going on.
well, he's having some technical difficulties, but I'll finish my statement and we'll end the show. But pretty much, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, crazy. A lot of North Carolina fans and college football fans are concerned how it's going to play out in North Carolina. A lot of people are saying that it's going to end in a massive disaster, and And, because Bill Belichick is already. Can you hear?
there, Mayhem?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Well, anyways, let me know down in the comment section how you feel about North Carolina. Have a great day.
From his family. Was out on the field pretty much the whole entire first half.
We got a lot of great games. I'm highlighting 2 SEC games.